Occasionally, I will speak a message geared towards our nation, maybe a patriotic theme. But the church is really not beholden to any particular nation. We preach a kingdom, an international kingdom, a universal kingdom. And we are not here to hold up any particular political ideology as having the same place with the good news of Jesus Christ. But these are troubled and troubling days for all of us. I don't need to explain any of that. And this morning I was just struck by a thought and felt a need to share. As I said, we're here to celebrate and promote Jesus Christ, not to defend an ideology. And yet, we live in a time when very many angry people out there calling for big change. Statues are falling and history is, well, being sanitized along with our vocabulary. We see anger, we see destruction. We hear some radical voices spoken as well. And a concern for all of this. We need to pray for our nation at this time, and that our nation would proceed wisely. I will not hold up our Declaration and our Constitution as divinely inspired documents. Doggone it, there was a lot of biblical inspiration that went into them, and the precious truths that were given to us. In a time now where we hear voices saying, well, let's just tear it all down and start again with all sorts of different wild notions. And the frustration is indeed understandable. I thought of Martin Luther King's words this morning. He remarked that at our nation's founding, Black America was given a promissory note. We failed. And when we should have given freedom, we gave a note. Later. We'll think about it. We'll work that out later. And unbelievable suffering, indeed a major war, resulted from all of that. Martin Luther King spoke very wisely and artfully, because in those words is that very strong implication that our Constitution and our Declaration are treasures. Treasures reflecting all sorts of biblical truth and insight and wisdom that can guide us, perhaps better than any other sort of national or political documents that have been written. And I would ask you to pray for our nation. I know you've been praying for our nation. But let us pray that our nation could proceed wisely. In an angry movement, actually, I'm not seeing a whole lot of church voices. Unlike in the 60s, I'm not seeing a whole lot of church voices in the protests and in the march. And let us pray that the church our voice would go forth, our light would shine, and the biblical truth could remain in the dialogue. And let us pray for our nation.